This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
We're going to talk about several things on the program today, but first we're going to get nostalgic about our childhood.
Oh, yes.
Because it is the weekend after all, and I can't be the only Gen Xer that will die on the hill of how much I miss things like just malls and frozen yogurt stores and going to the video store on the weekend. Just the stuff that there used to be to do and how it's all gone away because it's gone the way of apps and streaming. So this breaking news, are you a gamer? Have we ever discussed this before? Have you ever been into video games at all?
No.
On any level? It's such an interesting
I find it fascinating.
It
I think I've probably spent less than 100 hours in my entire childhood or life actually gaming.
Okay.
See, a lot of my friends, when they got into it in college, I was too flipping busy. I was trying to get into the professional
baseball,
schools and everything else. And I just didn't do it.
I'm with you. All right.
So
it's definitely an outlet for a lot of people. Gaming is, I can't even imagine how many billions of dollars of an industry gaming is. But PlayStation, the dominant console, has announced a big change is coming. They said in 2028, Sony is going to stop producing actual physical game discs for all the new PlayStations. They're going to do so in favor of downloadable digital format games only. So CBS This Morning's Nate Burleson, he was saying it's the end of an era for gamers. And also, you can tell he's a Gen Xer.
PlayStation is reportedly moving away from physical games, and I get it. You're sad because of that. Then I realized this is his generation's blockbuster moment. So to all my sensitive, digitally devastated friends, welcome to the club. We watch records turn into 8-tracks, cassettes into CDs, and then iPods to apps, and then to downloads. We lost Blockbuster Friday night. You don't even know the vibe. And now we just stream everything. And to the gamers, please, we are the original gamers. We started with cartridges. No downloads, no cloud saves.
He brought up one that I missed in my earlier rant of the things that I missed. God, going to the record store on Saturday.
Oh, I loved it.
You could go and spend a whole Saturday at the record store.
For me, there was almost as much enjoyment, no joke, of going to Hollywood Video or Blockbuster to look at what we might want to watch, even before we would get it and actually go back and watch it.
Right.
That was part of the thing. It's like, we'd go ahead and order the pizza. We'd go over, because they were right side by side.
Yep.
While the pizza's cooking, we'd go over there and pick all that stuff out, go back. Half the time, we wouldn't even watch the movie. We just had them because it was
We'd watch
that
it the
idea.
next day. Yeah.
Now, laying in the comfort of your PJs on your couch,
sitting there
scrolling
like a
through
sloth.
Stuff. It really is. It just feels Slaven doing it. Even if you end up watching something better than they would have had it. Yeah. So I really do. I think that's a big deal. But you can think about how technology has changed on so many different levels and so many different generations. Yeah. I mean, what was it? Was it the Buggles that did Video Killed the Radio Star?
Oh, was that the name of the group that did it?
See?
Oh, now I gotta look it up.
I think it's the Buggles. But anyway, Video Killed the Radio Star. And as things have evolved, I mean, I remember the very first Atari.
The Buggles, you were right.
Brought home.
Yeah. Okay.
So it wasn't a Rite Aid. It was the precursor to a Rite Aid, because that was when you get video games. There weren't really Toys R Us's. There weren't really those kind of places when I was a kid in the late 70s, early 80s. You went to basically the pharmacy or the Rite Aid or whatever it was at the time, and maybe Hooks. But whatever it was, that's who had the Ataris. And then I remember Atari and then TI-84 or Texas Instruments. Mm-hmm. And then it went from there to the Nintendo. And the Nintendo, we actually had access to a place called Service Merchandise. Did you ever have one of those?
Yeah.
You'd go in and you could kind of see like a display type item, but then everything was done in that little computer system, and you'd key it in, or you'd write on your thing and they would key it in, and then it'd come out on that conveyor line, that conveyor belt. That was so awesome.
That was like the height of technology, the service merchandise.
It really was. You were saying earlier how you miss malls. Well, see, that to me, like that was kind of my version. Now, just going on Amazon and feeling just that dopamine, like you're playing a slot machine. Oh yeah, let's buy that. Let's buy that. Okay, well, I can't get that and not get that. And the next thing you know, there's 18 individual boxes delivered to my house. I'm like, what?
They do. They put every little thing.
Did I have a beer too many
box,
and just start pressing order? Why did I do that? It's so dumb. And then you think about the postage and there's the shipping cost of I'm no joke. And it's, again, there was a good reason for it. But my daughter had stubbed her toe, and then we didn't have the right kind of Band-Aid. We had a couple for a day or two.
Yeah.
But Amazon said, oh, we'll get it to you in like the next couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, sure, let's do that. So it was at like $1.28 or $1.29 for this thing of Band-Aids. However much it cost to ship that silly thing and just put it in that. I guarantee you that wrapper, whatever, it costs more than the $1.29.
Probably.
Because I'm a Prime member, though, I didn't have a minimum spend in order to get free shipping. It's just nonsense, right? But see, that's the world we live in.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. It's the world we live in. The only thing constant in life and in this world is change. And for somebody who is getting close to retirement, I mean, you want to talk about phase of life where you're really just like, I remember back in the good old days. And also, I don't feel like dealing with all of this trash anymore. I just need to know I'm going to have my money and I'm going to be okay. Still, we have to keep up with the change, the movement in our retirement. What is it that retirees need to be thinking about when it comes to adaptation in their plans?
Yeah, so evolution is going to be the biggest thing that we're going to see over the next 15 to 20 years. So if someone is just retired or they've been retired for a few years or they're thinking about it in a few years, the entire industry is going to change tremendously. I think a lot of people are thinking that AI can do all these thought processes for us. Guys, it's not going to be able to do that. It will be able to get really good research, but critical thinking is going to be more important than ever before. So, I mean, I've been on the side where I said, I don't even know that college is really important for a lot of people. We need skilled people doing skilled things. We need fewer cubicle workers because those are the people that, in my opinion, AI is going to change and replace. Mm-hmm. I think that we need more skilled labor, people that can truly do plumbing, people that can truly do woodworking,
nursing,
people that can really build a foundation, right? People in healthcare, those are going to be so important. There's no amount of telemed that can truly give you what someone can do when you're there, and they can get your body temperature, they can read your diagnostics, they can find out what's going on. Mechanics. AI might be able to diagnose the problem, but it can't get in there and turn that wrench and make that thing happen and realize, oh, it's this little piece of fluff that somehow got between your oil pan and whatever, and that's what's causing the issue. It's going to require real people. But where I was going with that is the evolution in finances. Mm-hmm. People are going to start relying on AI to make decisions. No. Decision-making processes are so important to keep it the human portion. That's what makes it personal. That's what makes it granular. Those are the things when people talk about tastes and preferences or things that they like, you may not be able to say, well, I like this shade of blue better than that shade of blue. Well, why? See, AI would be indiscriminate. It would be like, well, because it's closer to the Pacific blue color as opposed to UK blue color or whatever it is. It would be completely asinine in its reasoning. Mm-hmm. But the point is that feeling, that emotion that you get by making that selection for whatever reason, that is the part that AI will never be able to change. And guys, that is what retirement is. Retirement is all a feeling, an emotion of comfort in doing the things you want to do. To have a robot, if you will, if you just kind of think about it, have a computer, a robot making decisions about your livelihood, there is no emotion in that. And because of that, that is why it's going to be more and more important. So when you really think about the things that make retirement comfortable, number one, you need to know that what you've saved, you've got a portion of it protected. Some people want it all protected. It's fine. That's a personal thing. But is AI ever going to say you need 100% of your money protected? Probably not. It's probably going to say, no, a diversified portfolio done in certain ways with the S&P 500. Is
that what AI sounds like?
Thank goodness they don't sound like that anymore. Talk about dating myself, remember?
Right.
Dating us. When that's what robots sounded like. Now robots sound better than me. I mean, I've done a voice clone of myself, and it sounds better than I.
It sounds great, yeah.
It really does. But when we were thinking about this stuff, the evolution is going to be things. So we have to keep up with those things. But the emotional feeling, that is what retirement, that is what a successful retirement actually is. It's a comfort. And it's really hard to get comfort out of just raw data, right? Yeah. And so the biggest thing that we all have to understand is embrace these new technologies. Evolution is going to happen in the space. And I think that's fabulous. I think it's going to be wonderful, but critical thinking becomes more important than ever, because if a computer system makes a false assumption or an incorrect assumption, not just based on your particular things, but in general, it just makes an incorrect assumption, like interest rates are going to continue to go down. Well, interest rates may actually be going up, but by it making that unfortunate assumption, it can derail the entire plan. I've watched it happen. I fight with AI at least a couple hours a day in my own office. We don't use it to do any planning, but I'm constantly trying to find out, how can I push it to the limit? When can I bend it to the point to where it starts to break? Where do the assumptions get wrong? How do I feed in the data correctly? But then the biggest thing for me is that then you have to critically analyze, how did it perform? Why did it make those assumptions? Did I feed it incorrect information? It's so unbelievably important to understand these things, because if these things continue to evolve, I'm fearful that so many people are going to be led by these robots, and it's going to lead them down the wrong path. No different than TikTok or listening to the news. If you just listen to that crud that they pump at us, we'd be depressed and sad all the time. We'd always think that there's problems everywhere every day, as opposed to looking at all the good things, all the positives, all the blessings, all of the things that we should be grateful for, right? So when it comes down to retirement, when it comes down to thinking about how this evolution is going to change and what things are going to turn into, just understand there is no thing more important than understanding that you're protected, that you're confident that it's going to work, and that you can do what you want to do with who you want to do whenever you want to do it. That is a successful retirement, and no evolution in the world can change that feeling.
Did you happen to catch on the news the circumstance, the incident that was that squirrel that got loose? I think it was the Detroit baseball stadium. Did you see this?
I did not see that.
And well,
no, I
first
remember
of all,
when there was a squirrel that got loose at the U of L football game. It ended up basically scoring a touchdown, went all 100 yards. It was awesome.
I think it was Detroit was playing Baltimore, I think. And first of all, I felt like nobody was talking about the squirrel was jet black, and I've never seen a black squirrel.
I've never seen one.
It was like a ninja squirrel. And there were no less than 30 grown men, grounds crews, chasing this squirrel that was the ultimate escape artist, chasing him around the field for many minutes in the middle of a game.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
And it was just the best thing I've seen on the news in a very long time.
See, that sounds almost exactly like what happens, but purposefully when the Savannah Bananas play baseball, right? It's like they purposefully put squirrels
on the field,
on the floor. Yeah.
So that there's like a dance, a choreographed hopping over of the squirrel.
Make the second baseman wear like an inflatable squirrel outfit or something for a whole inning. I mean, why not? I mean, that, by the way, is really entertaining. Like
the Savannah Bananas?
I guess there's the whole, I think they call it Banana League or something.
It is wild.
Really interesting to watch. Like, it makes me actually want to watch the sport a little bit more.
And you can't get tickets.
Because I'm a huge baseball fan.
Mm-hmm. Right? And it took you all these years and a team that dances their way through the game to re-engage you.
Why not?
Why not?
Because now it's all TikTok.
Too, right?
I don't know if there's a single person under the age of 20 that would ever watch television. It's all on their phone or their apparatus or their device. And so if you don't make it a quick reel where they just do, hit a home run and then do a backflip and then moonwalk around the bases, if you don't do that, you're not going to keep these young people's attention.
Yeah. Well, or
we're not going to get into the attention span.
That's not this today. That's not this radio program. That's another radio program entirely. In the meantime, if you missed the news of the squirrel that got loose, I believe it was the Detroit baseball stadium this week. Please.
Well, that may be the most exciting thing that's happened to Detroit baseball for quite some time. It's hard to know.
I don't follow Detroit that well, so I wouldn't know. I'm here for the squirrel, ladies and gentlemen, because as I was saying, the news can give you a roller coaster of results, of headlines, of emotions. So check out the black squirrel and then do what you need to do as far as checking out the market. And I guess for a lot of people, it's good news. I mean, it continues to be good news for a lot of investors. We're seeing a lot coming at the market right now, earnings and Fed speculation to international tensions. Market researcher Ed Yardeni was telling CNBC that despite all the headlines, the market actually hasn't moved much since mid-May. It's actually been mostly flat. This is Ed Yardeni.
Calm at the surface, but below that, a lot of churning around, a lot of rotating and correcting. But I think when you add it all up, what you really get is a broadening market. The small caps have done extremely well. Some of the sectors that have lagged, like healthcare, has really picked up. When we were in June, I called it the June swoon, but now it's kind of looking like the summer stall. And that'll probably continue through August. And then I'm still thinking that the market will have a good rally at year end. And the reason for that is what I call FEMO, fabulous earnings momentum. Earnings have really been amazing.
Fabulous earnings momentum, Jon Hicks. What do you think about the FEMO?
Well, I don't know about the fabulous earnings momentum yet, but he's exactly right. I mean, one of the things that Ed just said is what we've been noticing and what I've been talking about on the show for months and months and months. Even though the market had been going up from the beginning part of the year, it was what we would call very, very narrow breadth. There was only like 7 or 8 or 9 companies that were leading the way. Now, interestingly, what we've seen since mid-May, we've seen the market kind of be stable or kind of flat. But if you look underneath it, it's almost like a duck. If you watch a duck glide along the top of the water, it's graceful. It's eloquent. It seems like there's nothing going on. It's just having the time of its life.
Fluffy little happy ball of feathers.
Yeah. But underneath the water, underneath the surface, there is all kinds of churning and swirling and things going on consistently that we've now seen in the market too. So if you look at those big leaders on the year, they've actually been punched in the face since May. But what we've seen is what he was just saying, healthcare, which has been out of favor for almost a year and a half now. Technology's down, but we actually see energy up. We see a lot of different things. So the rotation has started to happen. And so this is very, very interesting because I think I agree with Ed on one thing. It is healthy to actually change the cyclicality of the market. It is good that technology is not the only winner. It's actually fabulous that it's not. Now, what we're going to see, though, if many of the people out there that are listening, they own all of those big blue chip mutual funds and ETFs, those probably underperformed, probably tremendously over the past several months because it was the laggards that have actually done real well. So it's really interesting. So when you're kind of looking in your portfolio, the greatest time to make a change is when we see that there is a different sentiment and when there's a different trend. And what we're now seeing, we may actually see for the first time in 12 or 13 years, value actually increase over growth. So there's two different sides of investing, Heather.
Yeah, I was going to say, what does that mean to
when you're
the
looking,
everyday
when
investor?
you're looking at equity investing or investing in the market, there's essentially two rules of thought. There's one, hey, let's go for growth companies. Let's go for companies like Google and Amazon and Apple and Microsoft and NVIDIA because they're going to go to the moon. SpaceX, yeah, Anthropic, woo, AI, let's go, buddy. All that's growth. It's basically the testosterone-driven, hit your chest and go, yeah, let's go make money. On the other side is value investing. And this is what Warren Buffett has always done. If you look at Warren Buffett's portfolio, it has been unbelievably boring. IBM, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, whatever he happens to own, they're just really boring companies, but amazingly, he buys them at a good price. And over time, they increase in value. And if you look at it, Buffett is truly one of the greatest investors of this modern time period. So completely different than just buy Google and let it run. Very, very, very different, but they both work. Now, it's been 12 or 13 years since we've seen a value market. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing and what Ed did not say exactly, but what he was basically alluding to is we may see a market shifting. So when it comes to equities. Now, not only is that market shifted, in the same time period since mid-May, we've also seen the bond market change directions. What? John, what are you talking about? Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, not only have equities shifted a little bit of focus where we may be now going more value than growth, now we're seeing bonds change too. We've actually seen interest rates. Remember in the beginning of the year, everyone was talking, interest rates are going to go down. Finally, they're going to go down. Trump wants interest rates to go down. They're going to go down. What we're seeing right now, finally, we're seeing the 10-year Treasury price to the point. There's probably going to be a rate increase. What? What did you say, John? Yeah, right now the market is pricing in an interest rate increase, not a decrease in the short term. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if you look at it, the interest rate, the bond market has flipped. So even though things have been quiet, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on underneath the surface, underneath the top of the water, that little duck legs, they're pumping, they're moving, they're doing something. The question is, how are we currently structured to withstand this, right? So what happens if the markets actually do go to value? Well, it depends. What do you own in your portfolio? Do you own mostly the growth companies or do you have a lot of value companies? Right now may be a really interesting time to consider more dividend payers or more conservative type of equity funds, not just to be a little protectionary, but also because those may actually have the biggest bump up going forward. And you got to talk to your finance guy about that or call into us and let us take a look. But that is something we're really considering because the tides have kind of shift a little bit, which is kind of good. One of the things I want to comment because of all this is that when things seem quiet, that is the greatest time to consider doing something. Not when there's a market sell-off and you're feeding into the panic. This may be a really good time that we're truly seeing these trends shift. a really good time to consider, hey, am I in the right spots? Is what I own going to accomplish what I want to achieve? If I want to retire in 2 years, if I keep this current allocation, can I do that? Can I create income? Do I have enough protection? What about taxes? If I make moves, is it going to be taxable? These are all the things that we do in our office every day because it's so important to get all 5 retirement pillars all in the right line. Am I protected? Can I create income? How can I be tax efficient? How do I transfer this wealth if something happens to one of 2 spouses, or where does it go after that? And then how do I pay for healthcare? Those 5 things are the best times. Those are done when things are kind of quiet, like now, especially when trends may be shifting, because there may be opportunities to take some money off the table, cash in some of those winners, lock it in, and then do something really attractive, especially if interest rates do move up. It may give us an opportunity to get back to, who knows? I have no idea. Man, some 5.5% CDs again, or some guaranteed safe investments that pay 5.5%, 6.25%. I'd love to see that again if we can lock some of those things in. So if you're not sure where you're positioned, or if you don't know if you have enough protection, or you want to take advantage of what's going on out there, give us a call. We'll find out where you are first before you make any changes. And then you can find out what may be happening and how you can get yourself in the right position so that you can take advantage of whatever's going on out there.
Let's begin the conversation helping you understand about your plan, your money, your future. It's retirementsolutionshow.com, or just click on the links we've got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with Jon Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with Jon and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to Jon's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency, and does not provide legal or tax advice. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through J. Hagan Capital, LLC, NPN number 188279094.